To national news now, President Trump is sending 2,000 California National Guard troops after chaos and unrest erupted in Los Angeles over the weekend. Around 300 National Guard troops arrived this morning, staging outside a federal complex that remained quiet and without major protests. This is after 2 days of clashes in the streets between hundreds of protesters and federal immigration authorities. The demonstrators fighting back against a series of immigration raids in Los Angeles County. President Trump's deployment marks the first time in 6 decades that a state's National Guard was activated without the request from its governor. California Governor Gavin Newsom is among those saying the federal government is overreaching its authority and the deployment risks escalating the violence. Asylum seekers are worried they might not be able to work while their cases are pending. Reports surfaced this week that U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services might change work permit policies. That would make it very difficult for asylum seekers to qualify. CBS reports that work permits could be suspended until all asylum cases are resolved within an average of 6 months. Cases currently take an average of 2 years to complete. Asylum seekers would also have to wait 1 year to apply for a permit. Well, earlier today, Kelly Hancock was sworn in as the new chief clerk in the comptroller's office, putting him in line to serve as acting comptroller when Glenn Hegar leaves at the end of the month. Hancock served in the state legislature for 18 years before resigning on Wednesday, and he is now set to lead the agency for at least the next year and a half. During that time, Hancock will be in charge of implementing Education Savings Account, a $1 billion program to help parents use tax money towards private education.
It is crucial, and because of my love for kids and making sure that every child gets to achieve their dream, education is how we do that. And so that is part of the reason that we're moving so quickly in doing this, because we've got to get that done.
Hancock also announced his intent to run for comptroller next year. So far, Railroad Commissioner Christy Krandick and former state Senator Don Humphrey have announced their candidacy for the comptroller's position. And U.S. Border Patrol is warning migrants not to go near the Rio Grande in an attempt to cross the border illegally. This is after water was released from Caballo Dam into the river. According to Border Patrol, agents in the past 2 fiscal years have come across a combined 325 migrants who drowned in the bodies of water, fell from heights, or succumbed to extreme temperatures in the El Paso area. So far this fiscal 2025 year, the agency has conducted 319 rescues and have come across 28 bodies. This legislative season, lawmakers sent over 1,000 bills to Governor Greg Abbott's desk to sign. One of those bills would change the way voting operates within the state and pass with support from both parties. State Capitol reporter Adam Schwager examines the updated early voting period. Adam, thank you for that report. Governor Abbott has until June 22nd to sign all pending legislation or choose to veto it. If he doesn't choose, the bill will become law unsigned. The U.S. government plans to build 36 miles of new walls along the southwest border, including a secondary barrier for Santa Teresa. According to a news release from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the Department of Homeland Security issued 3 waivers for environmental laws, including the National Environmental Policy Act, to expedite the border wall and road construction in Arizona and New Mexico. CBP said the waivers minimize the risk of administrative delays. Border Report reached out to Border Patrol to ask how border agents will utilize a secondary barrier and if construction will affect their work, and is awaiting a response. The El Paso ISD board unanimously approved district staff's proposed budget for the 2025-2026 school year yesterday. The general operating fund is just over $547 million. The projected budget deficit is now down to $6 million. As a part of the new budget, some school staff will be seeing more in their paycheck. Those with up to 2 years of experience could see an increase of $1,000, and those with a minimum 5 years experience could see a $5,000 increase. On the budget deficit, the $6 million mark is a far cry from the $17 million deficit district staff had projected earlier this year. A new image released of the vehicle believed to be driven by the gunman in Monday's road rage shooting that left a 14-year-old boy dead. The Las Cruces Police Department says this happened Monday at 9 p.m. at the intersection of Solano Drive and Spruce Avenue. Police say 14-year-old Alejandro Roman, who was a backseat passenger, was found with at least one gunshot wound. He later died at the scene. No arrests have been made. Investigators believe the man responsible was driving this vehicle, which could be a white Honda Odyssey or a similar vehicle such as a minivan or SUV. Anyone with information on the shooting is asked to call Las Cruces Crime Stoppers at the number you see right here on your screen. In case you missed it, a missing El Paso woman has been found dead in a vacant building in Missouri. In a Facebook post, the Montgomery County Sheriff Office states the 37-year-old was discovered on Tuesday in New Florence after being reported missing in El Paso back in February. New Florence is about 75 miles southwest of St. Louis. The post by the Sheriff's Office did not give the woman's name, but they stated she was found in a bay area of the building. Tomorrow, El Paso County Commissioners are set to discuss and possibly take action to place limitations on the sale and use of some types of fireworks this 4th of July season. As we've previously reported, commissioners were set to discuss taking appropriate action on the items last week. However, it was postponed until the next meeting, which is set for tomorrow. According to the agenda, backup material, county commissioners have the choice to do nothing, adopt an order restricting skyrockets and sticks and missiles with fins, or the county judge could issue a more restrictive disaster declaration. County staff has recommended the second option. The area needs to meet a minimum average score of 575 on the Keach-Byram Drought Index. El Paso County has a drought index score of 703 as of May the 29th. Moving to local news now, El Paso Congresswoman Veronica Escobar made a stop in Horizon this morning. She held a town hall to speak with constituents about what is happening in Washington. Questions focused on border security, tariffs, recent ICE activity, and Job Corps. The big concern she discussed was the, quote, big beautiful bill and the cuts it makes to various programs like Medicare. In New Mexico now, it's one of the most horrific cases of child abuse in the state. Now we're getting a look at the horrible conditions and underground caves police say 8 children were forced to live in. A warning, some may find this video hard to watch. And one person was seriously hurt after a crash in the Upper Valley. Police say the 2-vehicle crash happened on Red and Donovan. This is video from the scene. The El Paso Fire Department says 4 people were involved in the crash, but 3 refused to be transported. El Paso Police Special Traffic Investigations Unit responded to the scene, and we're currently working to learn more about what happened, and we'll bring you the latest details as this story develops. Welcome back. 3 people had to be rescued from the Rio Grande this afternoon. That's according to the county's public safety Facebook page. They posted these photos of crews in the water with some of the victims. It happened around noon on the south side of the river around Snow Road. All 3 people were pulled out of the water and no one was hurt. Ruidoso is planning a special event to remember, reflect, and celebrate its resilience after the 2024 wildfires and floods. The special event called South Fork 2024, United by Loss, Defined by Grit. The event will be held Tuesday, June 17th from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Winfeld Park in Ruidoso. The address is right here on your screen. Organizers invite you to participate in an evening of reflection and resilience to honor those impacted by the South Fork fire and celebrate the strength within the community. Across the state now, SpaceX's Starship exploded in Texas on Wednesday during preparations for its 10th flight test. The vehicle exploded, sending a massive fireball into the dark Texas skies. According to SpaceX, the Starship experienced a major anomaly before starting the test flight. The social media post went on to say that all personnel were safe and there were no hazards to residents of nearby communities. The company said it is working with local officials to respond to the explosion. Giving cancer the boot. Check this out. Cancer survivors gathered for the 4th annual Cancer Survivor Line Dance Celebration in Cielo Vista Mall Saturday. June is National Cancer Survivor Month. The event featured prizes, art exhibits, and of course, dancing, all to recognize the amazing people who have beaten cancer.
So our celebration is about letting them know that, number one, they're not alone in their journey. There are many people who have gone through that journey before, and there's solidarity in that. We also want to bring light to challenges that are ongoing for these survivors.
Organizers say that the event is one of many across the world that celebrates life. More than 100 people participated in yesterday's event. Joey Chestnut is back to take his crown. The 16-time Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest winner returning to the competition this 4th of July. Chestnut was banned from last year's contest over a sponsorship with a plant-based rival brand. Patrick Belrotti won last year's with 58 dogs and buns, 18 shy of Chestnut's contest record. With the 2025 contest just a few weeks away, Chestnut says he's been training since May for his inevitable return.